this day earth shall ring.
With the song children sing.
Melody, harmony.
Gather in creation.
You from every nation.
Clap your hands.
Stomp your feet.
Sing out loud.
Gloria!
In excelsis Deo.
Praising God's creation.
As we begin our earth walk, we pause to ask the blessing of the 7 directions.
Throughout history, indigenous cultures have come to understand their relationship with the Creator as a tenuous life walk with Mother Earth and all its inhabitants.
Native American cultures, the Lakota, Navajo, Potawatomi, and others have created daily rituals to stay connected with the earth and with the Great Spirit.
South American, Peruvian, and Andean peoples have created similar prayers of earth blessing.
Other spiritual practices have sought ritual blessings from the earth. Ancient Celtic spirituality and Taoism and pantheism.
Even Greek philosophers identify the spiritual essences as
Earth,
Air,
Fire,
water.
Using these traditions as our guide, we offer a contemporary version of the 7 directions and ask the Creator's blessing on our time together this day.
Creator, it is I. Thank you for the breath of life within me. Bless my spirit journey that I may see truth and hope on the path I have chosen. Keeper of the East, I bow before you. As the day begins with the rising sun, I ask, Spirit, be with me. Guide my steps. Give me courage to walk the circle of life. Keeper of the South, be with me. Your warming breeze and gentle rain foretell the promise of new growth. Help me to embrace your guidance. Grant me the wisdom to journey this path with compassion. Keeper of the West, remember me. As you bring each day to a close, fill me with wonder. Paint your sunset with vivid colors on my soul. Gift me deep sleep with gentle dreams to lighten my way. Keeper of the North, shelter me. Crafter of winter's harsh cold, your breath chills the heart. Make me courageous and steadfast at every turning point. Give me strength to endure hurtful pain. Keeper of the sky, bless me. great mystery beyond all knowing, grant me never-ending curiosity. Share your love to grace my days beneath your canopy of delight. Make my face shine with your glow. Keeper of the earth, nurture me. Plant my toes in your dark soil so that my roots grow strong. Nourish me with the deep, abiding presence of the mother. Allow me to blossom with your rainbow of colors. Keeper of the inner journey, enter me. Tickle my soul with your abiding laughter. Fill me with love for all your creatures, great and small. Grant me the serenity to see my beauty reflected in you. I give you thanks, O Creator. May I use the simple gifts you offer to become a blessing of gratitude and compassion.
"'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we will not be ashamed. To turn, turn will be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round right. gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we will not be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right.
Have you ever been in a forest along the coast of a wild and raging ocean, in the simple meadow or a mountaintop? You've experienced the wonder of God's creation. We share now some thoughts by people you've heard of about what it is to live in that wonder.
Heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads. Henry David Thoreau.
The earth is what we all have in common. Wendell Berry.
Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. Albert Einstein.
The clearest way into the universe is through a forest wilderness. John Muir.
Earth's crammed with heaven, but only those who see take off their shoes. Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
I think that to one in sympathy with nature, each season in turn seems the loveliest. Mark Twain.
Little baby, don't you cry. On autumn mornings, you gotta rise up singing. Each day a blessing when you look to the sky. All the colors of creation surround you. So hush, little darling, don't you cry. all you people dolls. You cry.
It was the summer of 1971. 50 years ago. Right now. No, can't be right. Oh yeah, I hear an amen corner over there. It's right. I was a young college student, and I had the privilege that summer of traveling to Taiwan, my first international journey, and I was an English instructor, if you will, for Chinese college students. The only thing was these students knew English better than I did. They knew conjugations and verbs and adjectives, all that kind of stuff, but they wanted to learn how to communicate and be in dialogue. And so I was there for a couple of months with some other college folks, and we had this amazing, wonderful experience going around the country, studying with the students. Now, before I get into the details of the story, I should tell you one thing, that 50 years ago, I had a lot of hair. And I had a mustache. But it wasn't just any mustache. It was a Fu Manchu mustache. And this was good enough to make Joe Namath envious. This big, bushy Fu Manchu mustache. Well, you can imagine the dichotomy of a 6-foot, long-haired Fu Manchu mustache American with these short Chinese young men and women. But they accepted me, and we had this wonderful time. Now, one weekend, we went up into the mountains that go along the spine of the country. And we were walking on this winding trail. I had cutoffs on and a T-shirt, and of course my long hair, my Fu Manchu mustache. And we were walking together, and we were talking together. And I was with two of the guys, and we were walking hand in hand, because in China and Taiwan, that's what you do. Guys walk hand in hand. And so we were walking down the path, hand in hand, talking about this, just talking about that, and all of a sudden in the distance, this old man, this really old man, but he's probably not as old as I am now. But anyway, this old man was walking down the path. He had a staff. He was walking slowly. He had one of these straw hats on. He had this kind of, this flowing clothes, and he had these pants, and he had some sandals made out of bamboo, and he was just coming down the path, and he got closer and closer. And my students stopped. And they said, "We must bow to our elder." So they bowed, and I bowed too. And as we stood up, he came close to me, and he reached out, pointing at my Fu Manchu mustache. Now, I should tell you that this old man, he had a real Fu Manchu mustache. It was long, and it was stringy. It was a work of art. But he looked at mine. He pointed his finger, and as he pointed it, I leaned forward so that his finger brushed my mustache, and he pulled back. And then he bowed to me. And I said to the students, what is going on here? He said, well, you know, in our culture, we don't grow that much hair on our face and not till we're much older, so he thinks that you are very, very, very old. I won't tell you how old I was at the time, but I was not very, very old. And I said, well, please, you tell him that it is I who bow to his wisdom. And then I bowed as low as I could go. And that old gentleman did one of these, and I stood up, and he looked at me in the eye. And I could swear that he almost winked, and he smiled. And then he said something in Chinese. He held up his hand, and he said something that I could never repeat. And then he nodded, smiled again, and walked on past us. Well, I said to my students, what did he say? And the first thing they did was to start writing in their hands, because they were writing the Chinese characters to translate what he was really saying. And they said, well, it's kind of hard to translate, but he said, from the deep earth, from the wellspring of the earth, I offer blessing. Whenever I think of this and tell the story, I get goosebumps. I still do. I was blessed that day by an old Chinese sage way up in the mountains who gave me this gift, this wellspring of blessing. Well, it took about 20 years for me to write a song about it. But this is called Live the Way. And it really is a play on a Taoist prayer. Live the way.
With your breaks forth in praise, beckons us to live the way.
There are words of wonder. There are also words of reality about where we are on this planet, what we've done, and what might lie ahead. Listen to the real words of this world.
You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. Jane Goodall.
The care of the earth is our most ancient and most worthy and our most pleasing responsibility. To cherish what remains of it and to foster its renewal is our only legitimate hope. Wendell Berry.
The warnings about global warming have been extremely clear for a long time. We are facing a global climate crisis. It is deepening. We are entering a period of consequences. Al Gore.
Water and air, the two essential fluids on which all life depends, have become global garbage cans. Jacques Cousteau.
We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. Navajo Indian proverb.
I'm seeing, and I've been wondering about the things I've heard. Everybody's crying mercy when they don't know the meaning of the word. It's a bad enough situation, sure enough bound to get worse. But everybody's crying justice, just as long as there's business first. Toe to toe, touch and go, give a cheer and choose your own souvenir. You know, people are running around in circles. They don't even know where they're headed for. Everybody's crying peace on earth just as soon as we win this war. the world.
If you have been following our Journey Through Creation webinars, you will recognize this speaker that's coming up, Green Jean Ponzi. Jean is a plant ally whose ecological work blends teaching and coaching and business sustainability, writing, public speaking, interviews, storytelling, and bursting into song from time to time. And through her work, Jean motivates her fellow human beings, that would be us, toward living well and sustainably with our diverse Earth relations. And Jean, I believe you're going to recap a message that you channeled last year from Mother Earth.
All of you, time out. Whoa, mama. Getting a message like that. Woo! And the mythos involved in this past year. Joseph Campbell, were you thrilled out there in the universe? Time out. For the entire human species all at once. What did that take? Nothing less than tiny little non-living bits of protein coated with fat. We could hate them, but it didn't make any difference. What an opportunity to take a BREAK as a toddler species, you know those clocks of like biological time, and and here comes the and here's the and here's the and here's the T-Rex, and then right about at 30 seconds to midnight, there's us, toddlers. How many of you are mothers and fathers? Have you ever put your child into timeout? Have you ever been put into timeout? I was not. I was sent to my room one time for telling my mother to shut up, but that only happened once. So this has been an opportunity in this past year, an unparalleled opportunity, I believe, for us to take a little time, be in that time out. Many of us had no choice, and that's what it takes for a stubborn species like Homo sapiens. We're not exactly what I would call tractable. To pause and consider and come back out of that time out in right relationship with ourselves, with one another. No small cheese, no small charge. And many of us are still kind of emerging from that. And many people suffered greatly in that process. And some, myself included, had the great privilege of being well, staying well, and that was a project. Stay well, be kind, keep the job, stay out of anybody else's caretaking needs. The big question that I asked last year, over this past year of timeout, is still, how do I feel? And that is a functional question. That's not like, oh, fine, or, well, I'm not really very great today. It's, how do my feelings function? How do I, as an individual, as a being with spirit and body and mind and emotions and kin, how do I feel? And how can I feel better, well, compassionate, kind? There was a project for me, be kind. There's a practice. And also, how to be responsible, how to continue to be of service as I get older and times change. And many, many humans are all like doing this and they're all doing this, and I'm sort of sitting there not as electronic as many. I am not on any social media. I really am a dinosaur when it comes to electronic communication. But that's okay, that's my choice. That's where I want to be. And that place That's ecology. Relationships, choices, relationships in place is what ecology is all about. How to be well, feel well, how to be of service in place, how to be responsible. Well, there's a burden, let's put that on and carry that around for a while, or let's flip it and ask, what is my ability to respond? Celebrate that capacity, that ability to respond that we each have, and that capacity changes as our relationship and our circumstance and our lives and our gifts evolve. All of that changes. Everything in nature changes. And being with that, being in that flow, being okay with that and with the uncertainty and the no thing of it, that's a challenge for us in our philosophical underpinnings, many of us, and for us as a species that looks at ourselves as the pinnacle of everything, the crown of creation. Move over amoebas, here's Homo sapiens. However, in the natural world, everything is relationships, everything works in cycles. There is no, it's all goes around, comes around. Do this with me. What next? And then, right? Our autonomic nervous systems are configured. We are hardwired. We are created. We are evolved for a part of us that we don't have to think about to manage that life support function. But we don't do it alone. We animals are in relationship with the entire plant world because what we are exhaling, the waste product of our respiration, becomes the food that the plants, the entire plant kingdom needs to produce the oxygen that we need and also to use sunlight and sugar and turn that into food for everything. That's called mutualism, mutuality in ecology. And it's embedded in ecology, but back in the days when Darwin was first evolving and identifying ecological principles, that kind of didn't get the publicity. It's kind of like the Gnostic Gospels. They didn't make the cut. So survival of the fittest was what got out, was the popularized part of Darwin's message. And someone like Suzanne, I'm not going to remember her name right now, Suzanne, the woman that is writing about mycorrhizal networks and the ways in which trees communicate, her brand new book, In Search of the Mother Tree. The plants communicate and support and are in mutual relationship with one another. Well, do we have the capability to do that? Yes, I think we do. Even better than we have been. And because we've gotten this little TIMEOUT, perhaps we can put that into practice now. And there is no question in my mind that this is the time for us to be all we can be as a species. This is all hands on deck time for our species, because we are the ones that are disrupting the systems. We are the kink in the pipes. We are the itch in the sock. We are the burr in the sandal, the rock in the shoe. And we need to come correct in that. We need to shape up here, ladies and jelly spoons. And part of my calling, I feel, is to cheer us on, because I could just, deal with the plants. I would love to just deal with the trees. That would be really great, and maybe a bug or two. But I feel like it's valuable to dance with them that brung you, and that's us. That's our species. So I have recommitted in this year to be a part of that process, that all hands on deck. And I have been actively invoking, and I hope that you have too, how to continue to be of service, how to continue to be of purpose, how to cheer on our species. Let us do that together as a call and response. Homo, homo, sapiens, sapiens, sapiens. Ready? Let's do that together. Homo, homo, sapiens, sapiens, sapiens. Yes! Wasn't that inspiring? Plus, when you talk about homos instead of humans, you set off a whole bunch of in people's brains, and I enjoy that too. This is almost summer. It is a season of growth and productivity and fecundity and mutuality. This is the time when all of our relatives in the plant world are producing as much oxygen and food as they can. It's not like storing it up in batteries. Somehow it all stays in the atmosphere. I'm not exactly sure how that works. That's more chemistry. I'll get there. But it's also the time when we see pollinators moving around to plants. Without pollinators, plants would not reproduce because each one of them is standing in their little place and they can't get to their sweethearts unless somebody with little wings is, flying around and helping that process. Plants, animals, humans, other humans, kindred across those boundary lines of species and ideology. Often in this past year, I questioned wanting to continue to have the gift of a human life. And that was a frivolous, in many ways, thing for me to contemplate, given how safe and privileged and cared for I was. But I let myself do it, okay, and I also got myself to snap out of it. We have this gift of human life. We have our potentials, our gifts, our questions, our stubbornness, our crabbiness, all of those things that taken together become what we bring to the great party of the circle of life with our relations, all our relations. And it's also a time when many humans are piping up to stop the stoppers, to say, I am who I am here, I am valid. This is my gift of a human life. Whatever color, whatever walk of life, whatever ideology, whoever you love, whatever you wear, whatever you eat, all of this is part of the circle. Off that linear dime, into the great cycles of reciprocity and exchange. Our relatives in the mighty Oîkos family, the oaks, know this. Any oak species can host between 600 and 900 different kinds of insect larvae, creating a phenomenal biodiverse habitat in every tree. And if you have an oak tree in your yard, you will not see all those larvae squirming around. It will not creep you out, but birds will see them. And birds will feed those larvae to their babies, and then we will have more birds, and we will also have moths and butterflies, and yes, mosquitoes and flies and cockroaches and, humans. Not to put too fine a point on it. So, how do I feel? Thankful, willing. And that may seem like an intellectual concept, but it also feels to me like an internal force that I choose to nourish, that I choose to feed, to go on into whatever kind of uncertainty is cooking around us, and there's still plenty of it out there, even though we might feel a little more secure now. Each one of us, responsible, able to respond, having that capacity through our gift of a human life on this beautiful planet Earth. All my relations.
Jean, thank you so much. It's been a real joy getting to know you this past year, even though it's been a Zoom relationship. Nice to finally be able to meet in person. So we take a walk through this wondrous environment. And one of my favorite songs that I was able to compose a number of years ago is called Earth Walk. It's really a two-part movement. It's a lament because of what we've done to Mother Earth, but it's also a song of hope and joy. This is Earth Walk. Okay, so now I suppose you're kind of wondering, what's been going on over there this entire time? Who is that lady? What is she doing there with all those plants? Is this a gardener or what's going? Hey, come on over here. I want to introduce you to our growing greener gardener. This is Debbie Tolstoy. She's a member of our team. In many ways, she's at the center of the ministry of this church, but we won't go there. But so I gotta ask, Debbie, what you doing over there?
I'm planting zinnias, seeds.
And why are you doing that?
Because the earth laughs in flowers.
The earth laughs in flowers. Wow. So when did you first learn to laugh with the earth?
Oh, at least 40 years ago.
And okay, I'm not going to go there. But what provoked you to get your fingers into the dirt?
Well, I had a neighbor that was a horticulturist, and she grew all sorts of wonderful things, edibles, flowers, everything. And there's really nothing like eating something that's just been picked from the garden. And she grew beautiful flowers, so I'm like, oh, I need to get into this too. So that was the 40-something years ago thing.
Okay, so now the question is, what are you going to do with all those pots?
Well, I'm going to get them out in the lobby, and then everybody can take one home.
Did you hear that? So any care instructions you want to give?
Just keep them moist and watch them grow. Hopefully they'll germinate in up from now till 10 days. Well, not now, about 3 to 10 days, and keep them in full sun, keep them watered, and transfer them out of these little bitty pots once they get big enough.
And laugh a lot.
Laugh a lot. That's a Ralph Waldo Emerson, by the way.
Thanks, Debbie. It's all about the power of love. Thank you for sharing your love with us today and coming. And I wanted to just give some thank yous. I mean, all the thank yous are on the back here, but you know, they need to be spoken out loud because they're so wonderful. So I want to say thank you to the Journey Through Creation planning team. You'll see all the names on there. There are people in our church who have worked on this project all year long. Also to the Logos interpretive readers who are with us today, Jan, Roger, Marilyn, Leon, and Dave. And of course, Jean Ponzi, our ecological advocate. Thank you for being with us. And of course, on the other side of those doors, about ready to come in, the SkyStone Conservatory Dance Ensemble. And some of the people who really make this possible, that gentleman over there with all the controls, that's Andrew, and he's in charge of the audio. Without him, we would be silent. And then over here are Greg and Shane from Switch AV Productions, who are videotaping this. I want to also give thanks to Mark, our own AV specialist here. And yeah, Mark, and Debbie over here, who's going to get all these plants out to you. Martin Mills, who helped to get all these trees in here. Now we have to get them back tomorrow. Anybody who wants to help move trees tomorrow at 10 o'clock, please come on over. And of course, then the Rolling Ridge Nursery for letting us borrow these trees. This is the third time that they've given us trees for concerts. So if you need any little greenery, some laughing flowers or whatever, you know, just down the street, you know where they are. And finally, to the band. To Kim, Arianna, Tim, Carolbeth, Dave, and Glenn, who just can't stop playing this riff. And while he continues to play the power of love, I invite the Logos readers to share with us a blessing.
May Earth's song reach us in our deepest and wildest places.
May it be heard as we move upon her.
As we partake of her sustenance.
As we nestle in her waters and grasses.
May we hear the voices of the stones,
The winds and the waters.
Creatures and plants, the chorus of creation.
Whales and wolves.
Owls and orangutans.
Friends feathered and finned.
Pollinators on a mission.
Giant forests and gentle meadows.
all the peoples of our global village.
Let us have a world's celebration where everyone stays put.
Our roots seeking amusements together deep in the earth.
Our branches entwined in the winds.
May our grandchildren's grandchildren share legends of hoped-for renewal.
May they toss stones from shores, hearing our names echo in the ripples.
So may it be. Amen.
Dave, Glenn, Carolbeth, Tim, Kim, Arianna, the Oîkos Ensemble. Thank you, and thank you to everybody who participated and made this possible. Go in peace, my friends. Give a tree a hug.